Let me see if I can convince you need ERPulse in 4 minutes or less. So let me just start by saying this is a new feature here with databases. Now we can see the database component. You can see the versions of your ERP and ICE. You go down here, I can see what companies are in there. I can see recent activity orders, purchase orders, shipments. I can search and filter those. So the whole idea of this is not to get data out of the system, but maybe at a glance you want to see what's going on. But the real fun stuff is here, regenerate data model. Go up here. Going to warn you that when you do it, it's going to automatically recycle the app pool when it's done. We can start this here, and you'll see that this is going to kick off. So here this is just an example webhook site, so we can see what's coming through. So when that kicked off, I get webhook. So we have webhook and email alerting, which is super helpful. You get all this information about what's going on. You can see this is the log from the generator that's occurring. And so you can see anything that does or does not happen. When this thing gets done, it's going to automatically copy over the relevant files to the app server and then prompt a recycle, which will activate the new data model. So that's the new feature. Now I'll show the installer. Got this nice fancy installer. And from here you can install new, update existing, reconfigure existing. You can uninstall, you can see a status of the prereqs, you can see here it's telling me. There's a new version of the installer that you can download. You'll also notice these are already updated. That's because for local development, I've updated them. And actually I opened an old installer just so you could see this happen. So I could click this, it would go download it, then you would close this installer and open the new one. We can also go here, look at existing. You can see the ones I've got installed and their versions. You can click one and you can update it. This will run the latest update from the installer and do everything for you. No need to really do anything. You can also do reconfiguration over here. I can pick one or the other. I'll do the controller. I'm going to look at your different settings. You can do an uninstall, which again just will show you what's there, and a new install. The new install is pretty cool. If you do the helper and the controller together, it will automatically handle all of the interconnectivity, API keys, etc. Okay, let's get out of there. So, let me just start at the top. This is the main view. So you can see we've got scheduled actions. We can add new environment configurations. This is a configured environment. What is a configured environment? It's made up of a number of components from helpers. Each Epicor server that has a component, whether it's SQL or app server or app pool task agent, you would install the helper on it. And if I go in and look at here, you can see some information about what's on it. Here are the different components that it sees, the database. You click here, so the database associated with it. You can pick certain services to monitor, pick any service off that machine, and then you can go down here and you can add a rule to notify me if it starts or stops or both via email or webhook. Have a whole other slew of different alerts that you can do up/down, offline, online, and high latency. You'll see here that it warns you were disabled globally, so I can't actually turn these on. I would have to go to the main settings to turn it on. Some information about SQL, just some databases that it ignores. You can add a credential to override if the helper is not running an account that is already auth for the database. You can add an override SQL account here. Once you have all of your helpers installed onto your machines, you can just go and create a new one, and the way that you do that is you come here and you select, you'll have your list of helpers here. I've only got one. We'll see that these are grayed out because they're already being used by an environment and you can't reuse them. Task agents are a different one because you could potentially reuse the same task agent service for multiple environments. So to create, you would just click pieces that you need for said environment. You go to next and here give it a name, the display name. It's going to automatically populate this in most cases for you and give it an optional description. How often you want this guy to poll, mark it as a production environment, which just makes it stand out a little bit. You can override credentials for how you access it. It currently defaults to the task agent. Down here you can select an optional database. It has to be it's only going to show you databases number 1 that are Epicor core databases. It goes and looks at the structure. So in order to do that, it obviously has to have access to the SQL server to go in and list the databases to go and look at them. Number 2, this is only going to show you ones on the helper that you've selected. Then you would just add that. I don't actually want to add that. Over here at a glance, you can see this is our demo environment. I marked it as production. You'll have a link here to it. Is up, the app pool is up, the task agent service is up. It shows that all 3 of these are up. Normally you would also have agent here. I don't have an agent because my current Epicor is not licensed. It's a demo database and I've got to get a license for it. So there would normally be a 4th one here. It shows me which DB I've got associated. It shows me the uptime. I'm in a current healthy state. I'm valid. Go in here and I can do edit and I can go and check any of those components if I wanted to. I click onto it and go into the detail where I can see all the information about it. You can see that we're degraded, and the reason it's degraded right now is because the agent, well, the environment is not licensed, so it wouldn't work anyway, and because of that, I don't have an agent set up which it communicates a lot to the agent. This would tell you about information, how many people are active, you can click into that and get details, we have none. And here you can see all the different components. The website, the app pool, task agent service, start, stop, recycle. Go to the SQL, click this. See, all that information we showed you before. So the email is globally disabled, so these are all disabled here. History. Settings, we could do webhooks. Scheduling action, pick an environment, or a helper and schedule actions against them, regenerate a data model, restart a service, etc. Beta testers desperately needed. On-premise installs only.